Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for listening. This is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And Ed, if you kindly unmute so I can not miss my cue, that would be great. We have a great show today from an all-American athlete, and has an amazing story, and just looking forward to hearing it. Anyone watching the show, please hit the like button on whatever platform you're listening to, or subscribe from YouTube, or give the show a like, and welcome. I'm going to be struggling today. My mouse won't work. Hi, Joe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I hope you're not getting into any trouble. Everyone, you're welcome to call in and leave feedback. Ed, don't forget to unmute, please. Yesterday, he forgot to unmute, and he's like, "You're on the radio." And I'm like, so leave questions in the comment section, and we will say hi and let us know where you're viewing from. So, Rob, you feeling okay today?
I am always feeling good.
Me too. Me too. And thanks everyone for watching. And Ed,
send us a suggestion. That's Knockout Radio/Talking Sports.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in. This is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today, we're going to be talking about how identity loss could really be life-changing, and how to keep your positive mindset. And things can always work out in our favor if we keep a good mindset. And before I formally introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed. Hi, Ed.
Hey, happy Friday to everybody.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So I placed the finalists in 3 categories, top 10 finalists,
Great.
People's Choice Podcast Award, which was amazing to make the top 10. I didn't win any, though. But I got a good watch party, and
There you go.
And we had fun. We had fun watching. And
How do you do it next time? That's all.
oh, definitely gonna see me around next year. I'll be harassing
There you go.
votes, and yourself included, Rob. You're on
Yes.
the list. But to make the final 10 and all 3 was amazing.
Yes, it is. It is.
One of the shows they've just kept winning, like they're winning 3 years in a row or something. So once it hits the final 10, those are the listeners that vote. So I made the final 10 in 3 categories, which means that a lot of listeners voted and everything. And then after that, it's up to the committee. So who knows, like if they have their favorites or if they even listen to my show. I don't
Well,
know.
if you want, we can always demand a recount. I mean, we're used to that, right?
It's okay. It's okay. It just motivates me to try again.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
honored that I have the top 10. I still get trophies.
There you
So,
go.
yeah. So, I mean, it just says finalists instead of, it says final slate top 10, which is amazing. I mean, I was walking around like a zombie, surreal, like, oh my gosh, I made it in 3 different categories. I didn't think I'd get one. But it was fun watching. I
Great.
definitely put a lot more effort. You have to send in like this acceptance award like ahead of time, like as if you won. I
Mm.
put a lot more effort into my speeches than these other people, but it was really an honor to be among a lot of other great people that do other podcasts and everything. And Rob has one and should enter next year with me. Like, and one of my friends does he was in the entertainment. He didn't get it twice in a row this last year or this year. He deserves it. Wounded Warrior and has a really great podcast too. You know Michael Carascolo that's been a Wounded Warrior, like with an
Yes.
IED locked in his middle finger, and he's been on the show a couple times. Anyway, but he didn't get it either, and I was disappointed. But it was fun watching and being part of this Academy Award, whatever. Anyway, so kind of tired today, but anyway, Ed, see you in a little bit. Guys, call in, leave feedback, comments on the show if you're watching virtually, or call in 866-826-1340 and say hi to Ed when you do. Anyway, so let me introduce my guest. So my guest is a successful entrepreneur and competitive athlete. But as an overcomer, he also knows what it's like to struggle through hardships. And at the peak of his career, he became an all-American athlete. But that narrative came tumbling down when the champion track and fielder encountered what could have been a career-ending injury. And while medical professionals had strong doubts that the athlete, I guess, would never bounce back from this mishap, he proved them wrong and came back stronger than ever. And now he helps others develop unbreakable resilience. And I want to welcome to Moments of Clarity, Rob Foster.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
So let's talk about your story. How did it all happen? And don't forget, you get a bell
Okay.
when you say Moments of Clarity.
Well, get ready to ring that bell because I'm going to have many.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so let's take it back. Let's take it back to the very beginning. So I'm the youngest of 7 siblings, and we were all athletes, including my parents. So there was a lot of competitiveness going on in the household. And so all sports, from field hockey, we played soccer, baseball, basketball, but track and field grew to be the one that was my real passion. Even though I was good at a lot of different ones, but that one like defined me. And so before I really had my turn, I was watching my older siblings have success. And my third oldest sister, because I said I have 6 siblings. So, but my third oldest sister, she was all state champion, and I wanted to emulate her. Like I wanted that success. So I remember being a freshman. Now I was 5'4".
All-state champion in track?
Yeah, in the high jump.
Wow.
Yes.
You guys have some athletes in your family, huh?
Yeah, we do. And so I remember I was 5'4". I weighed 88 pounds as a 14-year-old. Like I was skinny. And I remember walking into track practice, and I asked,
horse jockey at that point.
yes, and I asked the coach for the record book, and he kind of looked at me like, "You want the record book?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I opened it up. I'm like, "High jump, I'm gonna break that one. Like I'm gonna break this one. I'm gonna break that one." And I handed it back to him. Yep, and I handed it back to him. And again, he looked at me, and he instantly tried to clip my wings. Like you're gonna hear me say that a couple times throughout this interview. But like he was basically telling me that my goals weren't realistic. Yes, exactly, exactly. Because it happened so much throughout life, but at that moment, he was trying to take my dream away from me. And at that moment in time, he wasn't wrong. Like I said, because I really wasn't strong. I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet, and I was a sack of bones. so I but what people can't measure is someone's will to succeed.
Yes.
That's what people can't measure. So I trained, and I got to where I was good. So I wasn't like great, I wasn't elite, but I was good. And I kind of got a little complacent with being good because in our division, good was good enough. But then where it shifted was this was during basketball season now, which is before track season. And I'm playing a pickup game with one of my friends. I go up, I slam dunk on him, and I'm hanging from the rim, pointing at him, talking trash. And so I let go, and when I landed weird, and I slipped 2 discs on my back. And
Uh-huh.
so my back wasn't right for several months. So I ended up missing almost 2/3 of the track season. So being
Get
on the
the
side,
second snack.
exactly, like instant karma, right? Instant foot and mouth. And so as I'm sitting on the sidelines and just watching these competitions that I can't compete in. And that just took my competitive drive and 10x'd it because I was like, this will not happen again. Like I'm not going to be sitting here on like, I can't help my teammates and I can't reach my own personal goals because of something that stupid I did off the track. And
Mhm.
so we come back junior year and I was on a mission. Like I had reached that great borderline elite status. And then going into senior year, like I had scouts from all over looking at me. But real talk, my SATs weren't the greatest. But like I had Ivy League schools coming after me. I had like big name track and field schools recruiting me. And I actually had Olympic dreams on the horizon. And that was huge because that would have been something that none of my other siblings did.
Mm.
So it's like my sister was all state. I think my brother was all state and something. My other sister was all state. I was all state. So it was like I wanted to separate myself. And so I get to college, and now I think I was 2 feet off of qualifying for the Olympic trials in the triple jump. So 2 feet sounds like a lot, but with some form tweaks, you can make up 2 feet. And so I'm down at the University of Rhode Island. I'm on the track. I'm feeling good. I'm warmed up. Got that little good sweat going. And I go into my approach. Like the stride is right. Everything is right. I hit the board right. But when I landed kind of straight legged and my knee
Ow.
popped.
Ow.
Yes, yeah, my knee popped. So this was the precursor to the bigger injury down the line. So this happened when I was 18. And so again, I missed a good chunk of the track season. I ended up getting depressed and I ended up dropping out of school because, truth be told, I was in school to get to the Olympics. Like this had nothing to do with an education. I'll be completely real about it.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot of my friends that when they got cut from a team or anything like that, they just felt like they lost their identity. Like that was it.
yeah, like you see that happen with a lot of Olympians because they dedicate their lives to 4+ years for this sport, and then once it's over, especially if you don't hit a medal, it's like what now? And so
Mhm.
that's kind of what I was feeling like. What
Musicians,
now?
Olympians,
Yes,
all sorts of things. Like,
yeah, because like for competitors, you reach that high. Using the example of a musician being on stage and just getting that rush of being on stage, and so like, that was the first time I really felt depressed. It's like
also not being able to identify yourself as in a band or as an athlete anymore. Like
yes.
where you start saying was an athlete or whatever.
Exactly. So the first comeback story was I hit the training again. We got the knee healed up. So this is 1993 was when I actually made it to All American status. So I even through the injuries, I was tops in the state. I was tops in New England. I was tops in the East Coast region, and then I was seated in the top 10 in the nationals. And top 8 get All American status. And so I was in that top 8, And then again, I blew my knee again doing the high jump. And had I made that jump, I would have been top 3. So just dealing with that, it was crushing. It was crushing. I remember my dad being in the stands, and same thing. I jumped, and my knee just gave out.
But you were the top 10, you would have been the top 3, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I ended up being
top
8th.
10. How we just kind of started off this, where I said I was top 10 in 3
That's
categories.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You want to be the top 1, but at the same time, it's great being top. I mean, out of all the people in the world,
Yes.
So,
and it took me a long time to accept that. See, and that's the thing. And just talking on the topic of mental health is that we tend to hold on to things longer than needed. So I was 30. So I told you these two events happened when I was 18 and 19. I was 30 when I was finally able to let it go. So I was managing restaurants at the time, and I was just having a moment in the back, and one of the servers comes up to me and she's like, "Rob, like, really, like, you have to let that go." And just hearing it from an outside source, and she was like, "That happened to you, but what did you learn from it?" It's like,
bend your knee.
All right, fair enough. Bend your knee.
So stand up and grind.
Well, that's how this was all born. So I ended up going back and just re-looking at everything, and found like, where were the teachable moments in what happened, and then I started coaching, and started taking my teachable moments and passing it on to the other athletes so they don't have to feel what I felt. And then once I left the restaurant industry and I started doing fitness, I just took those same principles. So usually when people come in, people usually don't come in fit and ready to go. They usually come in after a divorce or some type of breakup, or they just let themselves go because they immerse themselves in their work. But like, people usually don't come in a good mental space. So it's like, I don't want to just be a gym that just helps people lose weight and gain muscle. Like, I want to actually transform people's minds. And so now, mind you, I told you I was a college dropout. So you get that imposter syndrome at first, because I'm not a licensed therapist as you are. I'm not someone that has a background in this stuff. But then once I sat back, I was like, but I have 30 plus years of being alive. It's like, there's things that I've experienced.
Yeah, I mean, like, the degree helps with the types of therapy and things like that, and understanding diagnoses and everything. But some of the best people, like, for instance, rehab and are in recovery. Some of the best coaches are AA sponsors or NA sponsors, or people that have lived through that experience. It doesn't mean that we as therapists have had to go through it in order to counsel someone. Like, I couldn't teach someone how to do a high jump, but I could help somebody recover from the shame of feeling like they've lost their identity from not doing the high jump, that kind of thing.
Yes, I had a woman on my show. She works with Alzheimer's patients, and when she was 15, she said that her grandmother came down with Alzheimer's. And so she had that lived experience. And then 7 other members of her family also came down with it. And so I told her, she was talking about writing a book. And I told her, I said, but that's what differentiates you, is, you're not someone that graduated high school, went to college, got their degree, and then got a job at an Alzheimer's nursing center. I said,
how many people in her family developed Alzheimer's? It was in her family?
Yeah. Well, and some of her in-laws as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That must be really difficult. Nobody remembers each other. Like,
yes. Yeah. And so I told her, I said, that's the differentiator. I said, because you have relatability. Everybody talks about ability, but relatability matters as well. Because I told her, I said, I've trained hundreds of pregnant women. It's like, I can tell a woman what she's going to feel through every month of pregnancy, but I've never felt it. So like, I can't share the relatability part of it. I can share the knowledge of it, but I can't really get down to, oh yeah, I know what it feels like when the head is stuck under the rib cage, or they're smashing down on your bladder, right? It's like I can't relate to that part, so that's the differentiator. So the majority of my clients tend to be former athletes. And so
you know what it's like. Let's pause there. It's time for first commercial break.
Okay.
But helping somebody, even with not going through experience, I mean, it's all powerful.
Yes.
And It's so great what you're doing. We're going to go to our commercial break, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
If you're a show host, gamer, live streamer, podcast host, or radio show host that would like your message to get out and reach up to 30 platforms, then there's an affordable way to do that. It's called Restream. Restream makes it easy to broadcast professional live videos from your browser to multiple social platforms at once. Start your live show with guests, brand it with logos and overlays, and create an interactive experience for your audience. Learn more at Restream.io and mention Moments of Clarity for special offers.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. If you are just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And my guest today is an all-American athlete, several injuries, but still got himself up, and also not only coaching others, but has a beautiful podcast, Shut Up and Grind, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And we'll hear more of his story, but welcome back, Robert Foster. And when it's 11 a.m., are we talking Eastern Standard Time?
Eastern, yes.
So I've seen your website, and it's amazing. You've been on ABC News and all that stuff, and pretty soon you'll put Moments of Clarity along those
Yes, I know.
these places that you've been. You've been on so many platforms, representing and talking about how to overcome feeling like that's your only identity. And what's powerful is that, okay, so you could do the high jump, you could run track. And when we injure ourselves, it's more like we didn't lose our identity. We found a different way to use our experience of helping others, because there's never a loss. Like, we're not only one thing. Like, we're good at a lot of things. And a lot of people that feel like they've lost their identity or whatever, like, well, then you can find something else to do with it, you know? And that's what I admire about your story so much, is that you just keep on figuring out what else to do with it, like learning from it and moving forward and not letting life stop you. I mean, everyone's good at something. I mean, some people are just really good at being bad at something, and that makes them good at something and still, you know, right?
That's true.
So,
Yes.
okay, so where do we leave off? So, you had started coaching people, and let's go on from there.
All right. Yeah. So I was in a relationship. So we had an infant child. well, he was like 13 months old then, I want to say. And my now ex left us. Like, we didn't even know she was leaving. She was already on a train and gone when I found out she had
You had
left.
the baby. Wait, you had an ex, and your baby was 13 months old.
Yes, so she left me with the baby.
Oh, she left you with the baby. She
Yeah,
didn't come
and
with the
then she
baby.
just left. And so, like I said, I was managing restaurants, working long days, and full transparency. I'd work anywhere from 10 to 14 hours a day. I didn't know what time this kid slept. I didn't know his eating schedule. I didn't know what medicines he took. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. It was just dropped in my lap.
Did
And
she ever come back or ever anything?
Yeah.
Moms can do that. Like, who does that? Unless they're going through something like postpartum or something.
Yeah, she had it twice. And we did reconcile like a year later, had my oldest daughter, and then she pretty much did the same thing again. So, but just the moment there was I stopped like all physical activity, because that's what you do when you're a parent, right? You put yourself on the back burner and you just focus all your energies into the kids, which I no longer believe that, but let me get into the story. So I ended up letting myself go. So I ended up just packing on pound after pound. And I didn't really notice because you're just busy with life. And so it was one day actually at first it happened in the restaurant. One of the busboys comes over and smacks my belly and said, "Foster, what's going on with you?"
That's what a lot of men are like, my wife's just letting herself go and all stuff. And it's like, hang on a minute. They just birthed 2 children and like are trying to just get through stuff. You're living example. It's not just women that it's not on purpose. Nobody wants to just let themselves go. I mean, everyone's just trying to just
exactly
right.
So this one day, so I'm getting out of the shower and I catch my reflection in the mirror. And like I was sagging in places I never sagged, had a big old round belly, and then I just looked at my so like I looked at myself in disgust.
Welcome to gravity.
And this is no shame on anyone else. This is just how I looked at myself. Right. And I was like, what did you do to yourself? It was like, you were an all-American athlete. Like, you were a champion.
No cussing.
Yeah. I know. I was like, you were a champion. I told you, I'm well in control of my stories. And I just, that light bulb went off, and I was like, this will never happen again. Never, never, never. And so I got dressed. I went through my cabinets. Like, had I known better, this was in my mid-20s. So had I known better, I would have donated the food. But I went through my cabinets. I threw everything out, all of it. Grabbed my son, went down to a local Gold's Gym because they had free babysitting. And I got back to being me, because during that time I was miserable because I wasn't playing my sports. And I was getting winded very, very easily. Went from, I was working, I was still providing, but I was still learning how to raise this child, so by myself. And, I get it, women do that all the time, but like that was new for me, so like my whole world got flipped up. But I had to reclaim it. It was up to me. I had to do it. So I went out and I bought a jogging stroller and I got back to being me. And it took me a little under 5 months and I knocked off 45 pounds. And I said, I will never see 200 pounds again. Because like at my height, people will say, oh, it's not that bad. I'm almost just under 6'2". But I was 228 pounds. Like I was never that heavy. And I said, I will never even see 200 pounds again, let alone 220. And I've had 7 surgeries. And I still never got over 200 pounds. I was in Planet Fitness on crutches, just crutching in between exercise, do some bicep curls, crutch to the next one, do some shoulder press, and just doing what I could do. Because what I learned at that moment with my first surgery was that I'm in control of my path, right? Mm-hmm. And I say that because when this injury happened, so through all that work, I got back into my athletic shape. I started competing in track and field again. And this is where Father Time wanted to remind me that I was getting older. So I was 34 now. And I'm competing in this track meet, doing the high jump. And I had already won the long jump. And so I'm over in the high jump. Now, once you're over 30, you compete in age brackets. So like you're only going against people 30 to 34, 35 to 39, so on and so forth. So I was in the 30 to 34 bracket. So I already had my bracket won. But there was one other person in the 45-year-old bracket. And the way my competitive spirit is set up, I can't let this old guy beat me. So, but
you probably would have wanted to mark the older box, the 39, whatever. Like,
yeah, so I was like, I can't let this guy beat me. So he goes to jump. He actually missed it. So then I go and I missed it too, but I felt a tug in my knee. Now this is the knee that I hurt in the nationals,
right.
the decade earlier. And so I went over to my younger children's mom, who was also now my ex, but I go over to her, and she was with our daughter. I think she was 2 then. And I said, give me some tape. I was like, I felt a tug. I was like, but just give me tape. I said, I don't think he's gonna make this height. I said, so if I make it on this next one, then it's game over. And so he goes again, he misses. And so now this is the moment, right? I'm gonna put it all away. And again, I'm coming down. Everything felt great. I planted to jump. I saw white, and then next thing you know, I'm on the ground. And I looked down at my leg, and my kneecap is this far up my thigh.
Oh gosh.
My patella tendon fully separated. Like I ripped so much stuff in that knee. It was awful. And so I get to the hospital. The ER doctor comes in. He takes off my knee brace. And within half a second, he says, "Ooh, you're never going to run or jump again." And I just kind of locked eyes with him. And I started crying. No, I looked at my ex and I was like, I just started the fitness business. Like I just made the decision to leave the restaurant industry. I was like, this can't be happening. Like we had just had the birth of our twin boys, our 4th and 5th children, including my 2 older 2. And I was like, this can't be. So I just started thinking like, I won't be able to run around with the kids. Like I won't be able to play sports with them. And then it just hit me. I was like, and I looked up at him. I did swear at him, but I'm not gonna. But I said, you don't know me like that. I said, you're not qualified to tell me what I can come back from. I said, I'm not knocking you on the medical sense. You got that. But will is on a different level. I said, and then the will to get through this is in my hands. I said, and we're going to revisit this in a year or 2. And we're going to talk about that diagnosis, because I don't accept it. I do not accept it. I will not accept it. So I start on the road to recovery. And now the surgeon tells me, don't put any pressure on it whatsoever. So now this is my first surgery. So I didn't put any pressure on it whatsoever. I did exactly what he told me by the book. I was 34 years old with a walker at my house. And we had to have a babysitter to come over to help with the twins and me. Because I really couldn't move around anywhere. So I go back for my first follow-up with the surgeon, and he says, you can start to put some pressure on it now. I said, oh, okay. So I put some pressure on it. Feels okay. I'm walking with the crutches. It's super easy. I put down one of the crutches. I put down the other crutch, and I was walking just fine. And I was like, I could have did this like 5-6 days ago. I was like, come on. And so from that moment, I took control of my rehab. Now, I'm not recommending to anyone to not listen to the doctors. I'm just sharing I'm just sharing what I did. And so I found my own thresholds. So it's like, they say, bend your knee to at least 10 degrees. I said, so I'll go to 10. All right. How does 15 feel? 17 hurts. All right. But at least I know I can go to 15. So I found my own threshold. And then originally they said like I wouldn't be able to bend my leg more than that. And then they also said I was going to rehab for 18 months. I got out of rehab in 4.5. And in month 5, I ran again. Wow. And I looked like a newborn giraffe, but I ran.
Newborn giraffe.
I went to length of
similar with the running part. I was training for a marathon, and I had started off with a baby stroller because I had just started off. Like I was part-time working, but anyway, long story short, I got in a 6-car pileup and broke my back in 2 places. And the surgeon, they need to watch their bedside manner too. But
Yes.
I was training for a marathon, and they're like, he's like, you're up for spinal surgery in 2 places, and you're never going to run again. And truth be told, I was aiming for the Boston Marathon, and that would have been the year that they bombed it. So I was like, well, maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
I do have to take it easy on my back because I, first of all, don't have the mindset like you, but I do what I can, you know, and I'm not training for the marathon anymore, but, you know, but I do what I can just because if I don't, I'm laid up in bed for like a couple days because it like legit and I don't want to have surgery. So like, I just don't. But when they told me that, and they said, you're never going to run again. And I was like, I was aiming for this goal. I just remember that, like what?
Exactly.
They need to like be more mindful of how they tell people, like, hey, by the way, your dream's up. Like,
exactly. Exactly. I ended up running into him in a different, I went to a walk-in clinic and he was actually covering there. And I was like, I remember you. And he's like, he's like, you had the knee issue, right? I said, yeah. I said, do you remember what you told me? And he's like, yeah. I said, I'm competing in track and field again, and I'm undefeated. So just wanted to throw that out there. And he's like, wow. He's like, you know, he's like, it's amazing. Yeah.
Like, drop the mic on him. We'll drop the mic right now. You know.
Yeah, but from that experience, I started saying, ignore the never. You know, and I'm not talking about the negative nevers, you know, the positive nevers. So it's like if someone comes out and says, you know, you'll never run again, right? You cross out the never, says you'll run again. You know, because as you know, a lot of this stuff starts in the mind. It's like what you tell yourself is what you're going to manifest. It's, you know, you can call it the law of attraction, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but whatever you seek, you're going to find, and it may not look exactly like the way you want it to look, but you'll still find it. You know, so when I started on this journey of starting to share the story and make it less about what happened to me and more about how I can inspire others with this story. And because I get people all the time that say, oh, Rob, I hurt my wrist. The doctor said I can't work out for 3 weeks. I was like, you hurt your wrist. What's that got to do with your legs? I was like, your legs work. Your core works, right? Yeah, I said, okay, so you can't bend the wrist, but we can put an ankle weight around the wrist and you can still work out, keeping that wrist straight. It's like there's ways to listen to the doctor and still stay on the track with your goals. Yeah. You know, so I said it's all in how you frame it. And so the biggest thing that I wanted to do when I started my podcast, actually, I can't even say that because I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Let's get into the podcast
right,
in a second. Time for our second break. But what a topic of perseverance and overcoming hardship. And I am anxious to hear about your podcast and everything like that. And we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Everyone, please stay tuned.
Turn to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Do you ask yourself any of these questions? Will I ever be able to get out of debt? Will I ever be able to retire? How am I going to pay for my children's education? How do I begin saving for my family's future? And if something were to happen to me, will my family be taken care of? Have you struggled in finding the answers? Forever Forward Financial can help answer these and many more questions about your financial future by teaching you how money works, by providing you the financial education you seek, by assisting you in making the right retirement or educational decisions that are best for you and your family, and by helping you take the necessary steps in establishing and meeting your financial goals. Please call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. The number, 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician, songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hello and welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and your host. And we are on what you call the final stretch of the show, where we're going to hear all about this wonderful guest who just doesn't give up. And we're not saying to ignore what doctors say, because sometimes enough is enough on our bodies. But as an all-American athlete, I guess, sometimes with that mindset, more so than ignoring physical health or whatever, but putting power in our mindset is just as important as our physical health. And to not give up on our dreams and find a different way or whatever, just to keep following our dreams. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Rob Foster.
Thank you.
And so I want to hear about this. Shut up and grind. How to go to the next level during tough times with Robert B. Foster on ABC 7, Fox News, everything. So let's get into this.
All right. So I started this. Well, let me just start by saying it was never my dream to be this big fitness guru. And I love what I'm doing. I love more so the goal setting, mindset shifting aspect of it. So I had remember Blog Talk Radio from back in the day? So I had a show.
Still exists.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so I had a show on there called Shut Up and Exercise. So it was all about fitness. But I didn't want to just be in the fitness box. Like, I can talk about it, but it's not something I want to talk about every single day. And so once the gyms got shut down last March, now, like, I already had the green screen. I had the podcast lights. I have this microphone. Like, I had all the stuff. I just wasn't doing anything with it because I didn't really know what direction I wanted to be in. I'm like, how am I going to break into this space? It's like outside of Rhode Island, nobody really knows me. And, so like those limiting beliefs just start creeping in. And then I was like, looking at my Shut Up and Exercise title, and it was like, just shut up and grind. Because I say it to my clients every single day. It's like, didn't you tell me you wanted to lose 20 pounds? Yeah, shut up and grind. Didn't you tell me you wanted to XYZ? Shut up and grind. Like I was saying constantly in the gym, because that's just my style. Like I'm not the sugarcoating kind of guy. If I'm a slap you in the face with a frying pan kind of guy. So like whatever you need, I'm gonna give it to you. And so
I'm pretty direct like that in therapy, but I say, everything's a choice, and stop playing the victim. Let's be the survivor. But
Yes.
shut up and grind puts it in a different term. But yeah, okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, different roads, same destination.
Yeah,
You know?
completely. Just different verbiage.
Yeah, exactly.
I might just say that, but I might get fired and be like, my therapist just told me to shut up.
Oh God. Yeah. So even just today in the gym, because on Fridays we do obstacle conditioning, and so I have like this little ring. It's like you go from rings to bar to a ropes called the multi rig, and one of the guys, he gets up there and he just gets in his head, and I'm just like, stop thinking and go. It's like, because like you can't accomplish anything if you don't leave the box, and we have to stand on the box to reach it. So, and that's with everything in life. Like people want, but they're afraid to do. And so with the premise of my show, when I first started it, I didn't have any guests. It was just me for like
on YouTube as well. So it's Shut Up and Grind on YouTube.
Yes.
And then you're on every social media platform. Robert Foster. Just so you guys know, like that he's on Twitter at RBF_fitness, Instagram Robert_B_Foster, LinkedIn Robert Foster, YouTube same thing, and podcast is shutupandgrind.me.
Yes.
So
you can find that one
on the radio, driving in their cars and everything.
Yes.
Robert Foster, you can pretty much find him everywhere. You find him on LinkedIn, and then you can find him everywhere else too.
Yeah, it's on pretty much all the podcast platforms. But like I wanted that, like once I first started getting guests on, I did the typical, send me some talking points, and we'll talk. And I find like nobody wanted to talk about anything messy. They just wanted to talk about all the chocolate and the roses. And like I started this with relatability. I said I want to relate to the person that's currently stuck in the mess. And then we want to talk about your mess, how you navigated through your mess to what you're doing now. So we can give that person, like that's my target audience, someone who's sitting in the dark right now, doubting their life decisions, and they need to make a switch. And so going through because everybody struggled with something at some point. And so, as the guests come on, I say, just think of some things that you had to go through, whether you went through a divorce, whether you got into a bad car accident, or whether you lost a loved one. It's like just something, and just pluck out the teachable moments there. Make your story relatable to the average person, and then we'll talk about how you built $1 million business. But like if we just start with that, like that person's not going to relate with that right away. But by getting into the messes of your life, now you bring in that
clarity.
Yes.
Moments of Clarity with Tiffany is just a nicer way of saying shut up and grind.
Yeah, it's true. It's true because at the end of the day, it's the same mindset. It's just some people need to hear things in different ways.
Yes. That they know that they're not alone.
Yeah, like with the personality types. People give and receive information differently. So someone who is a deep feeler, like they're probably not going to respond to my shut up and grind style. But like someone who's more of a supporter, influencer type, those people are just more ready to go. Like go. Just give me the task and I'll go with it. And then you have the thinkers, my favorite people, the thinkers that just want to pick apart your story every little way that they can. And then you have the leaders that want the process. So understanding how people receive information, you can now become a better connector with that person. And so I try to bring all that together on the show. And then I take it a step further. I have a program that I just finished beta testing called Speak About Yourself Out Loud. And what that does is it helps people take something that they maybe haven't fully resolved, and I have a full module process that will walk them through expressing what that moment did to them or is doing to them. So, for example, I just finished up working with someone. He's a 60-year-old man who still hasn't accepted the fact that his mother passed over 30 years ago. And so I just got into his mind, and we just plucked out the feelings, we plucked out the teachable moments. And he went through and wrote a keynote presentation that he can use in his own podcast, he's writing a book, and he wants to help people get through something like that. But he had to get himself in line first. So that's the purpose of that program. So if anyone listening, if you have something that's unresolved, and you just want someone to just help you put it on the paper, you can reach out at my
sounds
website.
like he didn't have closure, and he can write a goodbye letter.
Yes.
It's salt therapy to his mother, and a lot of people like to burn it or shred it or whatever, but it sounds like there wasn't right closure if it's in 30 years, and so there's a lot of therapy that he needs, to grief and loss therapy too. Yes, and like a lot of that stems from a lack of self-forgiveness. Yes, totally. A lot of times it's like how things would have ended, or how they handled the situation afterwards, and we have to forgive ourselves a lot through grief and loss, as well as the person. A lot of people have to forgive the person for dying. It's like things like that. It's a whole nother show, but and so just like one of the last points I want to make is, like, people ask me how do I deal with stuff, because I'm always in a good mood. And like, I just lost my father in 2019, right ahead of COVID. So it was actually pretty good timing. Like he had a really good ending. Like, our endings ever good? No, but he kind of went the way he wanted to. And he had 3 generations surrounding him when we ended care. And so we watched him, go on to the next world. And then people always ask me how did you deal with that? I said, because when we hold everything in, we're making it about us. And you're the expert here, so feel free to correct me. Right? But I was like, we make it about us. I said, I focused on him. It's like, he always told us, my dad was an engineer. Like he was an amazing man, can absolutely build anything. And he always told us, I can remember, from like in his late 40s on, he would always say, once I can't build anymore, that's when my time is going to be up. And so that was the opposite mindset of what you picked up on. Pretty much. well, it's like I got my mindset from, because he never quit. He never quit anything. If he wanted something done, he was gonna find a way to do it. That's a good way to go. We have just a few minutes left. Yeah. So I'm sorry to cut you off. I know we could probably talk for 2 hours, but Shut Up and Grind. How do we watch it? It's so it's every on Wednesday at 11 a.m. on which time zone, and how do we watch? We're on Eastern time zone, and I'm actually doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays now. On YouTube live? Yep, it's live on YouTube and on Facebook, and then it'll be uploaded to the Anchor site, and then from there it goes to all the other sites. So you can do iHeart, you can do Apple, Google. Yeah. Well, congratulations on that, and we're going to be sure to tune in. And awesome. And it's so nice to meet you. And if you ever need me as a guest, I'd be happy to. We all have our story of where we got today, Absolutely. So, I'll definitely have you on. And I like to pay it forward. And thank you so much for being a guest today. This has been a fabulous week on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, and a lot of from completely different story yesterday, but today, but both survivors of so many powerful things that we know that we're not alone, and we can overcome a lot if we just put our mind to it. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Robert, thank you for being a guest today. And for Ed, for the listeners, and everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Please be kind to yourself and a stranger. You never know what they're going through. And change can only come when we stand together as one. And we're on every Thursday, Friday, 12 to 1, and Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you so much.
Now it clicks. Don't put yourself down. Time for a change. Believe in yourself. Time to rearrange. Be your best friend. Bring hope to your day. Lose your critic. Get out of your way. moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.